Hi, this is Racehouse and I'm Darren Reeves, and here we are at the British Grand Prix. We're just on turn 1, so we've got to see a British winner again, Lewis Hamilton. Wow, who'd have expected that? I certainly didn't. I think we were all rooting for Lando, and fair enough, you know, strategy was everything today. Mercedes got it right. McLaren sadly didn't get it right. They left Lando out 1 lap too long, which meant Max could also catch him up. I'm outside Paddock Clubs where I worked in 2022, outside, bit of a COVID thing that came in, Paddock Club outside, and then start finish straight. Just a wonderful place to be and hang out. So Max came second on hard tyres. Who'd have thought hard tyres would have been the fastest? But I guess it was to do with track temperature, and he could just push, and he knew they'd last. And I think Lando's tyres just went a bit. But 4th place, Carlos Sainz. Ferraris are looking slow, and terrible strategy by Charles Leclerc. I was really surprised. It all just seemed to go on. It went onto Inter's way too early, and so on. And then Oscar Piastri. What happened? McLaren had a 1-2 at the beginning. You know, when it started to rain, they were faster than everybody. As soon as it dried out, strategy just went wrong. And I've got to say, I'm really disappointed for the championship, because I really expected Lando to really close up this weekend. And Max was nowhere, but he seemed to drag so much more out the car than his teammate, Sergio Perez. Where was, like, terrible qualifying. Went and got a new engine change, I think. Something I've got to check. I'm watching it all from the stands, watched it down at Vale. Got my wristband here, Vale Bank, and managed to get onto the track for the podium. So that was a bit exciting, I loved it. And saw Lewis do the champagne. He was very emotional, wasn't he, today? So, you know, I don't think he expected it, even though they all come here to win. There's a reality to it, and he knows. He's been there, done it, got the t-shirt. But anyway, yeah, Ferrari, come on Ferrari. Aston Martin were nowhere really, stuck behind. Well, Stroll just held everybody up into a DRS train. Just all the other teams, but I do have to mention Nico Hülkenberg, twice in a row, 6th place. Wow, I did not expect that at all from Haas again. When I say I didn't expect it, he qualified there. You know, he brought it home for the points. Well done, Haas, brilliant. But anyway, here we are. The sun is out. We've been getting wet all weekend, and then dry again, and then wet again, and then dry again. But it's beautiful now. We're going to do a track walk. So here's my buddy Steve from Australia. We're going to do a track walk, Steve, aren't we? That's the plan now.
Absolutely we are. Great race. Bit of a good win by Lewis, I must say, but a great race. Changing conditions. Mercedes, plenty of experience, handled it well. I thought Red Bull, their strategy to put Verstappen on hards for the last stint was got him up to 2nd. And poor old Lando had a great race. Weather conditions and perhaps a few decisions that they made on the day cost him a little bit, but he'd be disappointed. But got 2 races to go to the mid-year break, so we'll push on from there. But been a fantastic weekend. Changeable conditions makes great racing. So yeah, it's been a great season so far, and I'm sure we'll continue into the second half.
Would you come back to the British Grand Prix?
I'll be back here in a heartbeat, mate. It's been absolutely fantastic. Great viewing conditions, great track, an historic track, one that I've watched from afar for probably 40 years. And to be here now is a bit of a dream come true. So,
well, for us Brits, Steve, it's been a great weekend, because with Lewis and, well, George on pole and Lewis behind him and Lando on 3rd, we saw history being made with 3 Brits on the front 3 places of the British Grand Prix, and then to see Lewis bring it home. You know, he's the master of this track, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know, and we're seeing Mercedes now 2 wins in 2 races, having seen McLaren win, having seen Ferrari win at Monaco and Australia. In fact, Ferrari won there.
Yeah.
And with Max's wins in between, we've seen 6 winners in, is it 6 winners?
6 winners, 5 or 6 this season.
It's 5. Yeah. So it's Sainz, Leclerc, Lando, George, Lewis, and Max. So it's 6
correct.
Winners in the last 6 or 7 races.
Correct.
For Formula One, how amazing is that?
Yeah, fantastic. Who would have thought? You know, you would have thought that perhaps the way that Verstappen started the season, he might have taken it away. He's had a great start to the season. I think the other teams that you've mentioned, McLaren in particular, Mercedes have clearly taken a step forward this weekend, but this is a different track. This is a fast track. I think there'll be certain tracks that suit certain cars at certain times, but they're all those first three, Red Bull, Mercedes and McLaren are all really close. Ferrari need to step up their game, I think. They need to really think about their strategies and need to continue to develop their car, but all the cars are coalescing. There's a certain evenness around them now at the front, which makes for great racing.
Steve, you said to me how smooth the surface was when we walked on the track.
It's unbelievably
Look at this. It's amazing. And in fact, when we were down on the start-finish straight, there was a little nick in it, and you were like, hold on. This is Guan Yu Zhou's little nick from his top of his car.
Those nick which ended him up somewhere almost into the grandstand. But yeah, look, the place is just full of history.
It is.
Absolutely full of history, and that's why I've wanted to come here and watched it. To come here, I said it before, it's just a dream come true. So
good.
Everyone's been fantastic, the crew, the weather, but bad weather or changeable weather makes great racing. So it's been fantastic. Worth getting wet for.
We couldn't have ordered it better.
No, absolutely.
You said to me as well that the reason why you felt that the McLarens were a little bit faster than the Mercedes on the race was to do with a little bit more wing.
Yeah, I think Mercedes did take a tiny little bit of wing off, which has given them a little bit of additional speed. This is a high-speed track. There's no doubt about that. And look, they were good. Whatever they've done, they've definitely taken a step forward. I think everyone had a chance today. Everyone had a chance. Mercedes took their chances. Red Bull took their chances, and unfortunately, McLaren probably fumbled a little bit. But it's easy to say. They're learning. Lando's learning. Oscar's learning. But yeah, they were all the teams achieved good results today in what could have been, in what was ended up a fairly mixed set of results. And again, that's what changeable weather gives you. So yeah, it was good. Feel sorry for George Russell, but no, he led for a while. Then he did start to go back. So I just wonder whether he did have a problem with the car.
It's definitely something.
At some point.
Stood on the track here and being in the grandstands. Obviously, we didn't have the commentary. We didn't have the knowledge that you have from the TV viewing. So we only know what we know now. But we're going to go back home tonight. Guess what we're going to do?
Yeah, we're going to look at it again.
We're going to sit and watch it again. Of course we are. Big Formula One fans. A little bit of background on Steve. Steve is from Melbourne and has been a marshal in the pit lane for over the last 20 years. I used to go down to Melbourne and watch the races with him. Then I got married and had children, so that had to go on the shelf.
Correct.
But this is a joy to spend this weekend with him, and we hope to do many more in the future.
Yeah,
so
it's been a real pleasure. You Europeans don't know how lucky you've got it, wherever you're watching it. But it's a long way from Oz. Takes me a day to get here, but gee, it's been worth it.
Mate, it's been a joy
great
to do
fun.
it with you as well, buddy.
Thanks, buddy.
Total
Good
joy.
on you.
Thank you, thanks,
no
Steve.
Worries. Thanks, everyone.
Anyway, there we go. Racehouse with me, Darren Reeves from the British Grand Prix. Joe and I will do our debrief as usual tomorrow, and when I get home, I've got a feeling I might be pretty tired. In fact, I'm driving to Cornwall, so we might have to wait until I get to Cornwall before we do it. But you know what? It's been a total joy. British Grand Prix, Lewis Hamilton, Lando on the podium, Russell on pole. There's so many positives. It's been great. This is Darren Reeves signing out from the British Grand Prix. Take care.